Hello, everyone. My name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today, our guest is Jeff. Hello.
Hey, Christian, how are you?
I'm great. I just changed my background, so I'm excited to do this. The first,
Yeah, I
the
like
first
that.
podcast. Yeah, thank you.
It only takes one yes for success.
Yes. Please tell us more about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm a five-time founder, four exits. Currently run a fintech software company, a
Mhm.
fintech SaaS company in the healthcare space. So we solve one of the biggest problems in healthcare, and that is really fixing the billing process and patient experience. And so turn that into as great an experience as the care experience itself. And then
What's
work
the
with,
name of the company?
it's called Intelligent Contacts,
And when did you start it?
2010.
It's yeah. And are you still working there actively?
I am. I am. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that I really like. Really enjoy the team, the people, our clients, and then also have a growth accelerator specifically for B2B SaaS founders and
Yeah.
help them scale in two ways. One is kind of on the journey from 1 to 10, what we call crossing Death Valley. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have a mastermind that's SaaS founders 10 to 100 million.
So those two programs are part of the championship leadership group, right?
Yes, right. Champion Leadership Group, correct.
Okay. So you founded this for what? Why did you found this company? To help founders?
Yes, it is really to help founders. I mean, my journey is one of the reasons that I've been successful has really been because I've had great mentors along the way
Mm-hmm.
and really wanted to do something to pay that forward. And so started originally working one-on-one with a handful of founders and it just really maxed out my time very quickly. And I wanted to help more people. So kind of shifted about 6 years ago into the current format and able to expand and help a lot more SaaS entrepreneurs, help them grow. But really have a passion for doing that and helping people not make the dumb mistakes that I've made along the way. And that's a really, really long list. And the funny thing is, not one of them seemed dumb at the time.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
what to say. So those are the two programs that you have.
Yes, correct.
Can you tell us in more detail what they what they do?
Sure. Well, we really help founders to grow in three areas. One is revenue growth, because that's one of the ways that SaaS companies are measured in a big part. The second is valuation. There are a lot of things besides just revenue, but we want to maximize value, and that could be for a capital raise, it could be for exit, and really thinking about those things and building a company that has value and that has high value, not just in our eyes as founders, because we all really like our companies, but has big value in the marketplace for strategics, for financial acquisition, for investments, because those kinds of things. And then the third one is really for freedom. A lot of us became entrepreneurs because we wanted to be free and enjoy that freedom. But what happens so many times is that entrepreneurs get stuck working in the business, and that freedom is very elusive. But we have specific processes and strategies in place to help entrepreneurs find that freedom now, not someday maybe or someday when I fill in the blank. But we want them to enjoy life now and really live a full life today, not someday.
I understand. And you are the only one in this group. You mentor people yourself, or how does it work?
Sure. Well, I've never wanted to be a guru, and so the group is not really built around me. I do share a lot of my experience and mistakes, the good, the bad, the ugly, along the way. But it's not just me, and so bringing in subject matter experts, so people that are true experts in their field. So if we're talking about sales, I want the best sales leader. If we're talking about product market fit, I want the best person. If we're talking about digital marketing or advertising or SEO, I want experts in that to come in and have conversations, with our clients to help them really learn from the best. So it's not just about me. I want to make sure that we have the best of the best, and I learn in that process as well.
I like this thinking. I like it a lot. And you also wrote a book, right? I can see it behind.
Yes, yes. Yeah, small fish, big pond, building a world-class business that swims circles around competitors.
Mhm. What's the number one thing that people can learn from reading your book?
Well, some big things are, I'd say probably the biggest thing, if you're looking for one, is, why is it that, some companies are exceptional and others are mediocre? What is it that exceptional companies do that mediocre companies don't, or they don't do well? Or, why do some companies experience rapid growth while others just kind of sink into the depths? And so it really unpacks a lot of those in a really fun way using not only, concepts, but stories and interactive um, yeah, activities. So people are actually doing things, not just reading and consuming information, but actually applying it, because the real value is in the action. And so that's actually built into the book as well.
I understand. And where can they find it?
You can find it anywhere books are sold. Amazon is probably one of the most popular places.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, everything comes from there, right? You can also go check it out. The website, smallfishbigpond.com.
Mm-hmm. And you also have your own podcast.
Yes, I do. It's called SaaS Fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And so we
And
talk with B2B SaaS founders about how they've been successful, and tips to grow their business.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. And how many episodes does it have currently?
Currently, we're at about episode 19 or 20, depending on when this is released. So
Yeah, nice,
they're about
nice.
halfway through the first year.
Very nice. And you do this, you share these learnings for free.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I really want to do is we provide a lot of free content for SaaS founders. And it just kind of goes back to the reason that I started doing this in the beginning, is to help people. And not everybody has the network around them. Not everybody has mentors, but want to be that. And working with companies in 1 to 10 million, well, there's a lot of companies that are somewhere between startup or pre-revenue to a million. And so we make a lot of free resources available for them, and I want our free stuff to be better than most people's paid stuff.
I really like how you think. And how can people join your group?
They can learn more about us at championleadership.com.
Mm-hmm. And choose one of the programs, right?
Yes, they can learn more about that. And then there's a process, kind of an interview process that we go through to make sure that we're a good fit for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can be invited to join in.
And members can also talk to each other, right?
Of course, that's one of the real
It's like a
benefits is,
mastermind in a way,
yes,
like an
yes, very much.
accelerator. You said, yeah.
Yes. And that's so important, because my experience is my experience, and that's great, and done some cool things, but what I've done pales in comparison to what everybody in the group has done collectively. And so
Absolutely.
we can all learn from each other. And so again, it's not about me being a guru or bestowing my knowledge on people, but it's about really creating an environment where we can all learn from each other and move forward, because we're all on that same journey. We're some are a little bit further ahead, some may be a little bit further behind, but we're all on the same journey together. And when we can work together and share that knowledge, we can avoid mistakes, we can avoid the pitfalls, because being an entrepreneur is hard, and it can be a very lonely journey. But when we get together and we can support each other and move forward, it's a real game changer.
And if it was for free, I guess it's for a price. If it was for free, I think, do you think people won't appreciate it as much? Wouldn't appreciate
That
it as much?
That's actually true. We do a lot with charities and giving, and that's a core part of what we do. It's about impact, and impact in the community or world. But yes, if everything was free, it is certainly not valued nearly the same.
I understand. And for each person is different, or how is the pricing?
Sure, it's a flat fee, and the two different programs are at different price points, but it's a flat fee. It's the same for everybody.
Ah, okay, nice. And can you tell us more about your SaaS product that you built in 2010?
Sure. So we're primarily in that healthcare space,
Mm-hmm.
and we work to make it, like I said, fix the billing process, because that's one of the most frustrating things for consumers, for patients, is they go in, they have a great experience with their doc, and then that whole experience falls apart when they get the bill in the mail, or they go out to the counter at the end. And so that's really what we fix, and make it a good experience where the patient is in control. They can set up, negotiate their own payment plans as they need to, whether that's before procedures or after. Uh,
And
make
you
it where they
sell
understand their billing.
you sell the software to companies, right? And they use it for their customers.
Correct. Primarily
Mm-hmm.
healthcare, hospital systems, billing companies, anybody that's they're what I call outsourced billing offices or external billing offices that take care of all of that for hospitals and health systems. So those are typically our clients.
And how big is your team?
We've got about 80 on the team.
Oh, wow. And you're still a CEO, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And have you raised any funds?
No, we're completely bootstrapped and
Nice,
have
nice.
been from the beginning. I've done multiple companies and worked with lots of others and finance all sorts of different ways. And there's not necessarily a right way or wrong way to do it. They're just differences, and so there are pros and cons to either one.
And
But this one we've
yeah,
bootstrapped.
for this company, you choose to bootstrap it. Yeah, it makes
Yes.
sense. Because you didn't have any pressures, right? So, or what was the main reason that you chose to?
I think probably the biggest reason is because we could. That's and it is like you said, you do have a lot more control. We're not a slave to the quarterly number, or we don't have to. We can make the right decisions for clients at the right time. Whether that's to invest in technology, there's not a pressure of we have to hit these numbers this quarter, or we have to be profitable by a certain point in time, or we have to do distributions and can't reinvest in the business. So it really gives us the ability to do the right thing for the clients and for the business at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And could we do other things? Could we raise? Absolutely. And we're approached every single week. And so at some point that probably makes sense. But if you build a solid business model that's profitable, that is what we call what I call future proof.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we're looking for, is something that is profit and growth are not mutually exclusive. And so we want to have is a nice healthy balance of both of those to move forward and fund the business for the long term.
Do you also post on social media actively?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to stay pretty active, and a couple of reasons. One is really promoting the businesses. It's every entrepreneur should be doing that, and also it just kind of goes back to the same reason I started Champion Leadership Group, is just to provide information for other founders, for other entrepreneurs.
What's your favorite software?
Wow, that's a tough one. Favorite software. The one I use probably most often would be Slack. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people that use that. So is it my favorite? Who knows? But it's the one that I use most often.
Or maybe give us two other recommendations of for people. I don't know if you want to.
Wow. I don't know that I really necessarily have a favorite. I think favorite software is probably whatever gets the job done quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes. I mean, the market changes pretty fast. So something that I was using, yesterday or 2 weeks ago, or last year, there may be something else that has come out. So definitely an early adopter. So as new things come out, I'm pretty quick to try
Nice.
and see, is this something that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
AppSumo is probably the most dangerous place in the world for me, because I'll go there and I'll look at one thing and then it's like, ooh, I want that and that and that. And so it's I love to try new things.
Yeah, the early adopter curve, we all know it, and it's little. I think it's 2.5%, right?
Yes.
And do you think most of the early adopters are also entrepreneurs?
I think they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it kind of depends. I mean, early adopter is really good for individual. It may not be as good for enterprise, and so it kind of depends on where you are on that scale. But we've been early adopters in a lot of ways. We went to the cloud really early on. Everything we have is hosted on AWS and has been for a number of years. And so pretty early there, pretty early adopting some of the benefit models, and some of the early even payroll providers. Um, that have grown up, and names that you would know now, like Gusto. We were using them back when they were Zen Payroll, a long time ago. So very early in the process. Rippling would be another one. And so just pretty early in the process, and thinking, what can we do to improve the business? What can we do to drive efficiencies? How can we use technology to facilitate what we want to do, what we want to accomplish faster? And so, always on the hunt for new technologies to do that.
And maybe one last question. What's your best piece of advice for a SaaS founder?
And it's actually one of the things that is in my book. I would say it's one of the first principles in there, maybe the second one, is to get big, go small. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's really thinking about like a funnel, what we want to do, and where you have a typical sales funnel looks kind of like this. The big part is on top, and people go through, and some stuff comes out the bottom, and it's really big. And you ask entrepreneurs, who's your ideal client? And it's everybody. They'll say, if they're selling to entrepreneurs, well, it's entrepreneurs. Okay, well, great. That's 50 million people. I hope you got a lot of money to target all of them. Can we get smaller? But the smaller that you go, the better it is. So think about that funnel, flip it upside down, put the small end on top, and go small. And when you think you're small enough, go smaller and smaller and smaller, and focus in and find that niche that's ready, willing, and able to buy, that has a problem that you solve better than anybody else. And focus in, because that's where the marketing is. That's where the marketing magic happens. That's where the small part is on top, and so you're really getting qualified leads that really understand and resonate with the problem that you solve, because they know that they're a fit. When it's really big on top, you get a lot of people in the funnel, they're not really sure if they're a fit or not. But you make that small, and you
Yes.
really focus in, and then lots more comes out the bottom. So that's, if you want to get big, go small.
And I know it was also a piece of advice by YCombinator that said, do things that don't scale at first. Do the small things that matter.
Yes.
And yeah, try it out.
Yeah. I love that, because that's the type of thing that your competitors won't do. And we see it all the time. People want to automate marketing. They want to, just send out a blast email, and that's general, or send out messages that on LinkedIn that using automation. And okay, that's one way to do it. But if you can focus in and you can spend time, what if you spent 5 minutes really understanding your prospect and actually reaching out with something that makes sense, that connects with them? Does it scale? Maybe. But your competitors, most of them, 95%, 98% won't do that. They won't take the time. So, I love that advice. Do things that don't scale, because it sets you apart from your competitors, and you learn so much about your clients. You learn so much by those interactions, because you're investing the time in that.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Is there anything else that you want to tell us today?
Now, if you're a SaaS founder and looking for a community, check out championleadership.com. You can reach out to me. I'm at Jeff K. Mains on all platforms, and look forward to connecting with you.
Thank you so much for being here. Links are below. Check him out, and I wish you all the best.
All right. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you so much.